Hello folks, welcome to another episode of The Bush Baron. I hope this one finds you well. The Bush Baron, the series where I take this aeroplane, being the Baron, today, the pressurised version of same with the little fences on the end of the wings. Looks kind of cool, doesn't it? I take the aircraft bush, basically, and today definitely qualifies as bush. In fact, we're probably beyond the bush. In the true outback, folks, you can probably tell that by the colour of the dirt. Let me show you the flight plan today. I've got an interesting kind of backstory to this flight plan. Well, I think it's interesting anyway. Whether you do or not is a whole nother question. But let me show it to you and explain. And I'll use a little nav map to give you that explanation. We're at the top end again. We were here the other day, weren't we? In the A330. Slightly south today, but still top end. Begin our journey in a place you may have heard of, folks, called Katherine, up here in the NT, Katherine Airport. And we're basically going to track the Stewart Highway, that's that yellow line, down to a place that you may have also heard of, called Daly Waters, famous for the pub at Daly Waters. And someone has recently developed a freeware rendition of the airport here. So I thought, what better reason? Well, I did find a better reason, actually. I put two and two together, came up with 4.4, and you've got today's flight, folks. So Katherine to Daly Waters via Mataranka, which is here, and the little town that the world is slowly beginning to learn about for all the wrong reasons, called Larrimah, thanks to a documentary film or series, depending on which platform you viewed it on, called Last Stop Larrimah. I watched it the other night. Most Australians probably haven't heard of Larrimah before the doco series, and most Australians probably couldn't point to it on a map even after watching the doco series. But that's where it is, folks, kind of right in the heart of the northern bit of the GAFA here in the Northern Territory. GAFA, G-A-F-A, not GAFA as in the boss, as you say over there in the UK. G-A-F-A. The description of the GAFA is in the previous video featuring the A330 in this part of the world. If you're interested, of course, you could always just use the internet. They have that now, folks. Amazing tool. That's our flight plan today. We're in the Baron. It's not going to take us long. 80 odd miles. Let's do it. What did I say? 80 odd miles? We've got 137. 80 miles for the final leg. Good thing I don't do this for a living, folks, eh? I think we're pretty much right to go. We'll just check that we've got... good thing we checked. It really is a good thing I don't do this for a living, folks. I won't worry about flaps. We're good. Don't need to worry about pressurisation. We're going to scoot along the highway at 1,500 feet. That should be good fun. Should we do it? Let's make it happen, folks. Landing lights on and all that gear. Parking brakes released. Let's give it some juicies. Taking off with a tailwind, of course. Bush Baron. That's how he rolls. Beautiful aeroplane, this one. One of my absolute favourites to fly. Now we'll rotate around about here. We should be able to go. Yeah, nice and shallow, does it, folks? We'll just trim the trees on the way through. Help out the local airport staff. Scare a few locals on the way through. Gear up and all that. Here we go. Oh, this is what it's all about in this series, folks. Low-level bush bashing. Find our way onto track as we continue a very shallow climb overhead the town of Katherine. Shout out to you all. Any viewers from this part of the world? I'm not sure that I do have any, but I'd love to hear from you in the comments. If you're out there somewhere, and we'll take up a track to follow the highway. We'll get the flight director on. We'll get Georgie doing some flying. Get Georgie doing some nav work as well. There we go. FD nav autopilot. Climb up to 1,500 feet. Take an external for you, folks. There we go. There's the main road, main drag. Beautiful Katherine, Northern Territory. Farewell to you all. Look at that sensation of speed. Absolutely fantastic. Yeah, one of my favourites, this aeroplane, and the non-pressurised version, black square. Be a link to it in the description, folks. I know other aircraft are getting more attention, including other black square aircraft. The TBM looks the business. Haven't picked that one up. Just don't see that I'd probably fly it once, make a video of it, and then put it away in the hangar. Not because it's not a good aircraft, it's because it's just very similar to the 930, which I do enjoy. This would be the RAF-based Tyndall up here, folks. One of our, we've got a few Air Force bases at different places around the country. Shout out to all of our servicemen and women, anyone who happens to be watching. Anyway, I'll rejoin you during the cruise. We'll have a look at this documentary series / movie called Last Stop Larrimah, and then a landing into Daly Waters, and the video will be done. Alright, so settled nice in the cruise at 1500 feet. A little choppy up here, but screaming along the ground at, what are we doing, about 210, 214 ground speed. So we've got, yeah, between 5 and 10 knots up the date, just heading into Mataranka, or Mataranka, as they say out here. Just at the bottom of the yellow arc here. We're safe, we're good, we know what we're doing. Yeah, sure, pull the other one. Should we have a look at this documentary series? Let's do that. Alright, so this is the official, it's an HBO production. This is the official website. I think it's the official one. Called Last Stop Larrimah. Murder Down Under is the subtitle. Yeah, caught it on Netflix the other day. I was familiar with the story to some extent. The story really centres around all these characters that you can see. I mean, how more Australian can you get than this bunch of characters? The old singlets, the old wife beater and stuff. Oh, they're an interesting bunch of people, I've got to say. Larrimah, population of 11. Well, it was. Until they got rid of this bloke here. This is Paddy Moriarty, who disappeared back in 2017 along with his dog. Never to be seen again. Now, spoiler alert. Well, is it? No, not really. Because it's still no one's been actually charged with this thing. For me, it became relatively clear which one of these people on my screen probably knew what happened to Paddy, if not actually did the job. I'll just leave it at that. For me, it became obvious fairly early on. If you've studied human behaviour, and if you know what signs to look for, it becomes obvious who's not telling the full truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Alright? Let me just leave it at that. But this is, look, it's a great series. It's a sad story. There's no question about that. What happened to poor old Paddy and his dog. I mean, you do away with Paddy, but to do away with his dog as well, that for me, that's a low act. Nestled deep in the Australian outback is a remote town of Larrimah, and its 11 eccentric residents. Oh yeah, eccentric qualifiers. When Paddy disappeared in 2017, the remaining residents became suspects in an unfolding investigation. Last Stop Larrimah shines a light on the town's quirky history. Yeah, rah. I won't play the trailer because I'll probably be pinged for copyright. And I don't need that, folks. But yeah, check it out on Netflix if you have it available in your part of the world. It's an insight into an Australia, or a version of Australia that is eccentric, but not really that unique, particularly in this part of Australia. Anyway, I'll see you for an approach into Daly Waters. But of course, we can't do a video like this without actually showing you Larrimah, right? I got a little bit too keen in my desire to cut to the approach. This is Larrimah coming up here, folks. Right here, blink and you miss it sort of a place. This is the Stewart Highway. I'm guessing this here would be the... Is there a railway line that goes through here or something? I don't know. Anyway, this is Larrimah, folks. Let me zoom in for you. As I said, blink and you'll miss it. One of those places is where Paddy lives. There's a pub. There used to be a croc. I think he's gone. That's the town. Larrimah, Northern Territory. Here we go, folks. Now, the next segment. will be an approach into Daly Waters. Alright, concluding stages, folks. Good thing about cruising at 1500 feet is you don't need to spend too much time planning your top of descent. Basically, when you can see the numbers on the strip, or you can see the strip in this case, and if I squint hard I can see the town at least. When you can see the strip, you start descending. You basically already at circuit height, aren't you? That'll be the town of Daly Waters. Now what we should do is kind of loop around and land towards the north, but nah, it's the Bush Baron. We took off with a tailwind, so we'll land with a tailwind as well. It might give us a nice view of the town on the way in. It should be on the right hand side, folks. We'll just come right off this power though. This will be a true Bush Baron type of approach. Dirt strip here is what I'm expecting. Daly Waters. The town is just to the north of the field. It might even be one of those places where you can kind of drive or taxi your aircraft up to the pub, can you? I'm not quite sure. Look it up, folks, on the old internet. Oh, it's not a dirt strip. It's a bloody what do you call it? Asphalt strip. We need to get ourselves slowed right down here, mate. Bleed off that speed, slip her in, take gear, first stage of flap and all that, take a different view. There we go. Oh, huge stutter there. Right, we're going to be right. We're screaming in at 150 knots. We're in a little bit of trouble, I would think. Runway 14 it looks like here at Daly Waters. Can't take second stage of flap. We're going to land with a tailwind as well. That's alright. We'll make this work somehow, folks. Rad idle. We'll just float around a little bit like this. Float around a little bit more. Bleed off that speed. Float. Take gear here. I mean, flap there. Full stage of flap. Floating it out. Plenty of runway left. No worries. Have confidence, folks. Have confidence. Touchdown. There we go. Never in doubt. There we go. Folks, thanks for coming in another episode here of the Bush Baron. Looking at what is a quirky and iconic part of this fine country of Australia. Folks, until we next meet, stay well, enjoy your simming, and bye for now.